let's start this shit out. So, I'm Cap. Welcome. This is my channel. I did some other stuff before. Not too many. I don't know how many people watched me before. I was on the GCN. I forget what they were called. They were great guys. They helped me out a bunch, but I really didn't care for the platform and I had to pay for it. So, but I'm Kep. We like to chat about a lot of different things. I mainly am doing right now a lot of geopolitical stuff. It's been fun these last few months, 6 months or better. Uh, I am a constitutional conservative. I wouldn't say I'm actually Republican, and I'm definitely not liberal as far as voting goes and my views. But I always like to start shit off with a little bit of a funny shit, and this kind of sums up the whole freaking week of the back and forth a little bit. Not so much on Trump now, but Gavin Newsom. This is it's it's terrible. I he's gotten to the point he's using the cap locks, and I don't really know how much he writes his own Twitter stuff, X stuff. Who knows? He's a spineless little douchebag as far as I'm concerned. He has ruined California. I feel sorry for you people that live out there in California because, wow, wow, uh, damn. But it's adjusted a little bit. God damn, motherfucker. Anyway, I got problems. Not really. California used to be a great place. I don't know. Been in California a couple of times. I'm not really impressed. I was more impressed with Florida. I really like Florida. I haven't been down there in it's been a few years. Better part of a quarter century, I would say. So, but this is funny. I find it hilarious. Forget where I was going to start. I guess we'll start right here at the beginning. I wanted to kind of touch on this just a little bit. It's kind of funny that some of this stuff's now coming out from CBS, 60 Minutes, especially, and that's really sad. I grew up watching 60 Minutes, especially Andy Rooney, and his stuff, but uh, it's really gone to shit. Actually, what can be expected? This legacy media, it, they can't tell the truth if the truth hit them right in the fucking face. I mean, they are kind of getting a little bit better. Kareem Jeffries was smacked down the other day. That was kind of hilarious. I don't have that pulled up. I did see it earlier. Uh, Freaking hilarious. But yeah, this is, we knew Sleepy Joe was dementia riddled, in the 2020 election. We knew in 2019, we knew in 2018, this dude's starting to lose his marbles. And it's really funny that, again, the voting, how that all turned out. Bernie Sanders got screwed over again for being possibly the nomination. Yeah, but 81 million votes, my fucking ass. There's no way in hell he got 81 million votes, and we know that, but we have had to kind of move on. We're past him. It was kind of a blessing in disguise, even if you know get screwed over by the COVID bullshit, and then uh, obviously the mail-in voting, which Trump really wants to get rid of. I really want to get rid of, and the Democrats are. Yeah, they're trying to use examples of other countries that use mail-in voting, and we had mail-in voting before the 2020 election, but it was different. It was called absentee voting, that you mailed your ballot in because you were going to be out of your area possibly, um, during on election day, so you could get an absentee ballot. You fill it out, you mail it in. Those, I know here in Iowa how it works. They don't touch those ballots until the polls open in the morning of election day. That's when they can actually physically open them and count them. But you know that's that's what the Democrats are including as saying mail-in ballots, mail-in voting is, well, we what about the servicemen? What about people that are on vacation or out of the country? Blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, that's called absentee voting, and I don't have a problem with that. I do find that it's a problem that um, more and more people are doing it just from the sheer point that they don't want to go out on election day. And then we get into 2020 where we've got to have so many days afterwards to count the ballots when we could count them all beforehand, in one day, to the last election cycle. It's not election day. It's election. It's not even election week. It's election month, for God's sakes. And the one thing that when I was that was the whole thing behind the GCN network. What I was doing with them, I was trying to run for Congress here in Iowa, against Ashley Hinson. I don't think she's done the best job in the world. She talks a lot. That's about it. But one thing I would love to see introduced, and one thing I was pushing for, a couple of things. Uh, I'm just going to hit on one today, but uh, election day needs to be a holiday. We need to make this a federal holiday. You know, that way you got a lot of your banks are going to be closed, and obviously all your federal and state buildings are going to be closed. You're going to take a good chunk of the workforce out. You know, uh, I would like to see factories and stuff like that. I would like to see that this just be a paid holiday for everybody, so that way you have a chance to get to the polls, and we can still do this in one day, like we did in 2016, and well, kind of, uh, 2012, 2008, 2004, 2000. 2000 was kind of an anomaly with the hanging chads in Florida, uh, and either way you looked at it, I mean, we did. I didn't like Bush. At first, and I liked him, and then now I know more about the Bush family and really disliked him. But it was better than getting Gore in there. So, but anyway, back to this potato. Uh, they characterized him as seeming tired. Well, you know, he's he wasn't all there. I mean, I know they did more than that. They had to edit everything that he did because he don't know he had no idea what's going on. I mean, even in her report where we're talking about the classified documents that he should not have had in the first place. Yeah, we got enough to charge him, but no jury's going to buy this. He doesn't know anything at this point in time. He's he he's unfit to stand trial. So if he's unfit to stand trial, then he was definitely unfit to be president. But then again, he really wasn't the president. The auto pen tells all. But I just thought I'd go in on that just a little bit. But um, one thing I wanted to, we had our meetings with everybody there the other day, and Zelensky and Italian Prime Minister and NATO and all these people. But you know, everybody wants to give Trump shit. Well, the left do, because besides it's fucking Trump, you know, uh, there's I forgot where I was going. Anyway, they're saying this peace deal can't be made, but it's all coming apart. And do 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 do. Sorry about that. And Jiwei. And yeah. So, but I'm surprised I haven't heard much outcry that says, well, he's making these people say this stuff. But just listen for yourself. This is Finnish President Alex Dobb, which he's a very young guy. That you know, whoa, sorry. 3.5 years. We've gotten more done in 2 weeks than 3.5 years. Tired of these lefties always calling Trump fucking Putin's lapdog, and it's not accurate at all. Trump flexed, and it's not that he just had to flex. The biggest thing was, hey, enough with the phone calls. We're not getting anywhere. We need face to face so we can chat a little bit about this. See where we're kind of at, and then where we can go for negotiations afterwards. And it's working. Now, my stance on Ukraine is not the best. I'm not pro-Ukrainian. Um, I'm not a fan of proxy wars, and I'm not a fan of our CIA and deep state using these countries like that. So, I mean, it's the only time the one time we didn't mess with a country after we helped overthrow shit was in Afghanistan, and then we got the Taliban. The Taliban is because of the United States, but again, we've gotten more done in 2 weeks than 3.5 fucking years. Come on. Yeah. There's willing for dialogue right from the beginning. There's willing for dialogue before they moved one tank across the border, one soldier. But Biden's weak, very weak foreign policy of trying to let the globalists win, I'm really surprised this did not hit World War III all the way up into the point of almost using nuclear weapons. I am really surprised. But yeah, talk is. We need to get past this barbaric stage of humanity and be able to have civil discourse. We might not agree 100%, but we can find good common ground. So, with most people, some people, we don't have that because, well, liberalism is a mental disorder. We need to find a cure, please. But we'll continue on here. Yeah, I think this is I think the Secretary General of NATO. Anyway, um, yeah, I don't pay for YouTube, so this has been sitting on my screen for a couple of days. So yeah, I'm surprised I didn't get an ad to start off with. Drink milk, whole milk. Don't pay for water. But we're progressing. I didn't read any of the articles having to do with that yet today. But meetings are going to happen, uh, and that's a good thing. We can stop the killing, and I am in firm belief that Ukraine needs to give up land, plain and simple. They need to give back Russian Russian Ukrainians back to just being Russians. So, but oh shit, what else going on? Well, Cracker Barrel. They're having a Bud Light moment. Um, yeah, they're going to rebrand their stuff right as they're bringing back Aunt Jemima. We had to take Aunt Jemima off because somehow it was racist to have a black lady on your syrup when she was on the syrup for 100 freaking years. You know, they took the Indian off Land O'Lakes. Why? Why are you eliminating everybody? The only person that stayed was the Quaker from Quaker Oats. Huh? We got rid of all the minorities and we keep the white guy. Well, forgot about the Cracker Barrel white guy. And, well, he's gone because we need to rebrand ourselves and, get rid of the nostalgia of the old guy, sitting by the barrel there, kind of where Americana was, like it says, the nostalgia and Americana. Uh, this is not going over well. This is off Good Morning America. This guy's, he sold out bigger than shit. Damn. Uh, anyway, I I will call bullshit on what she just said. I can guarantee you there ain't no motherfucker out there that wanted this shit. I bet you. I could be wrong. I need to remember to start saying allegedly, of course. But shit. This is not faring out so well for him. This is stupid. No, no. you've probably lost a good third to half of your business now, probably. It's going to be funny. I mean, they're going to get Bud Lighted. They're going to get Bud Lighted. This was down a lot further today. Their stock, it ended down 11, 11.5%. Ended down. Oh, this is over the 5-day. Right now, they're down 7.5%. That was start to finish today. Uh, the 5-day, we could see where in the middle of the night, when this stuff came out yesterday, you know, this shit after hours dropped. Everybody dropped their stock. You know, we were at 59, and when it opens, we're down to 53. We lost $6 a share. You know, which is more than 10% of your stock has dropped. You lost millions of dollars, and right now they're saying what they lost in today was about $200 million because of this bullshit. She cost the company $200 million in one day. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to go back. It's going to go down more tomorrow, unless you get a lot of lefties that are going up. Maybe Nancy Pelosi's out there going to say that she's going to buy a shit ton of fucking Cracker Barrel just to help drive the price up. Wouldn't fucking surprise me none. I mean, that bitch got rich off of everybody's back. So, but yeah, they're getting they are getting the Bud Light treatment. I mean, when you drop this much, yeah, granted they recovered, but good God, you dropped a shit ton. You know, you could say, I mean, let's go overall. You know, since they first started getting traded, I'm not going to care about obviously we have the crash in 2020 in here because of, well, they couldn't be open. You know, and it did come back in 21 a little bit, but since then it's just been going down. So, you know, we're going to try to rebrand ourselves, and you lost money. I hope you lose more. I hope you lose another $200 to $300 million tomorrow. I really do. I don't have stock in Cracker Barrel, otherwise I probably would have sold it too. Last night when I seen this shit come out. But yeah, it's gonna be funny. I hope it does. Because I'm hoping that by the end of uh, August here, she'll be fired, and she's brand new. And let's see how well the board takes to this. I mean, your board of directors don't like losing money. Not like that. Not like that. So, yeah. Oh, where did I want to go next? Oh, fuckity fuck. We'll do this. Uh, this shit keeps getting more and more interesting every couple of months here. It's been a while since I've heard of this one, but it was really interesting right off the bat. When a sheriff has lunch with a judge, goes back to his chambers, and executes him. This don't pass the smell test. Something's fucked up here. Something's not right. And then you find out that the judge has the sheriff's daughter's phone number in his phone, and she answered his phone call, but not the dad's phone call, and a lot of weird shit. Well, we already had problems with this place as is. He had to testify on one of his deputies that ended up, he's served 6 months in prison and is on, some probation now. But yeah, what else was going on? What else? Well, sounds like the judge here, Kevin Mullins, was running a more or less a brothel out of the jail cell, out of the jail, and then some. Uh, we've got confessions from other people that have, this Sabrina Adkins that said she had watched a video of Mullins having sex with a female inmate in his chambers. Uh, Another co-plaintiff died of a drug overdose. Imagine that. But this got this was filed against the judge and a deputy, but the judge didn't get nothing. So, but here's one of the victims that knew him before he was a judge. He fucked her and everything else, and throwing money at him, and then getting more lawyers and stuff like that, having sex parties. But she didn't say that it was rape. She said here, it's like they were. It wasn't like they were raping, like physically. When you hear the word rape, it was consensual. So, but lots of drugs. Um, where was that? We were having fun too. We were doing lots of drugs, doing coke, a lot of cocaine, a lot of cocaine. So, but then this shit was used against them later with child protective services and other legal stuff. So. Yeah, and she admits that she had sex with him after he was a judge. So what the fuck was going on in this Kentucky fucking courtroom? At this point in time, this guy might get off on these charges. I mean, it might be temporary insanity. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that fucking be nice? But, yeah. And I did hear at one point in time, I haven't confirmed it or anything, but supposedly the judge was screwing the sheriff's daughter also. That's probably why he killed him. Just dad protecting his daughter, and who knows when it started. I don't even know the age of the child, of how old his kids are, but it's getting interesting, to say the least. I mean, more or less an execution. This guy's not armed. I mean, well, he is armed. He's got a fucking pen. That fucking pen could do a lot more fucking damage to a lot of people, more than that fucking gun ever could. It's fucking 15 shots, 17, most of it's Glock. That's 17 dead people. He can kill freaking millions with that fucking pen. I'm kidding you. Oh. The Florida accident over the weekend. The guy, illegal, another fucking illegal, kills American citizens. It's bad enough that we have Americans accidentally killing other Americans. It's worse when we have illegals driving that can't speak English, and then they're driving a fucking semi. This is why Trump put that executive order out, and that's why the states are enforcing this shit. This guy failed a freaking the signage test. Got like 2 out of 12 or 20 or something like that. You only could get 2. Didn't use turn signal, illegal turn, kills 3 people. Well, he got his driver's license in California. Oh, that's nice. Well, it's not just California that gives illegals. These are undocumented immigrants. Ooh, undocumented. No, they're illegal aliens. You got a green card? I'll let you drive. You here on a visa? Possibly. Still have to pass a driving test for the United States. And this should all be no. But what else can you do with that fucking ID then? You're giving them a driver's license. They're illegal. You're giving them a driver's license so they can drive around. What else can they do with that license? Well, they could buy alcohol. They could buy tobacco. They could vote. They could. Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have voter ID in these states either. Because that's racist to have voter ID. Yeah. Bullshit. 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 Yeah. It's all. Oh, it really irks me at times. It really does. So, uh, I should get on here one day, just do a gaming one, and just we'll play some Minecraft together. But uh, yeah, the whole driving thing is really gotten me over the years. They've made it, even here in Iowa, they've made it so much easier to get a driver's license. And then they pound it into you. Oh, it's not a right, it's a privilege. Treat these privileges. You don't want to lose that privilege. We can take this privilege away from you, but you know, uh, yeah. But we keep making it easier and easier to pass a driving test. I did one. Was it 10 years ago? Um, Screwed up, didn't pay a fine, lost my license. I had to redo my driving test and everything. Of course, the written test, I got 20 out of 20, and it kicked me off the computer. Doing the driving test, just pretty much drove around the block, and that was done. It's like, aren't we doing parallel parking? Nope, nope. Now I asked the DOT person, why don't we do another person that worked in a different office? Why don't we do the parallel parking? Well, it's so hard for everybody to do that. When we had people do it, they failed it right off the bat. We'd have them do that first, and you couldn't get your license then. And that's the fucking point. Fucking bugs, motherfuckers. That's the fucking point. Keep them off the goddamn roads. There's one thing that made me really happy about COVID and the illegal shutting down of businesses across the United States in Iowa. I mean, South Dakota, because Kristi Noem did a great job. She kept her word and upheld the Constitution. My governor, Kim Reynolds, didn't. She's a Republican. Yes, I voted for her. Do I think she should be charged and have a hefty fine? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Same with Ron DeSantis. You shut down businesses for a virus. You shut down people's constitutional rights for a virus. Our constitutional rights still don't even stop for a war. They broke the law. It wasn't so much the businesses that got me, it was the churches. Because that is in our first, that is plain, you can't discriminate against religion. And that's my religion is to gather to worship, but now you won't let us gather, so we can't worship. Not that I went to church. I don't go to any organized church. I don't. I grew up in a Presbyterian. I'm still kind of technically Presbyterian, but I'm not practicing. I'm Christian. Um, I really don't care for a lot of the Old Testament because it's so. How do I want to put this? It's not as accurate as you think it would be, and it's missing things, and it's that's a huge subject. I'm a Christian. I don't believe in anything really Jewish at all. I'm okay with Israel being a country for the Jews, I guess. Um, Palestine wasn't really even a country until it was kind of a country, and then it got disbanded right away. English fucked that shit up, but yeah, it's a touchy subject with these people. I mean, if you question anything with Israel, you're anti-Semitic. Okay, well I put that back at Jews. You're anti-Christian. Everything you do and say is anti-me. I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And they don't. They can bash my religion, I can't bash theirs. Islam can bash my religion, I can't bash theirs. You know, this is the same believers that launched the Crusades to get Israel back, to have the Holy Land back. So, but we want peace, more peace, more peace. This is hilarious. It's on the other day. We've got country after country nominating Donald J. Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, which he rightfully deserved his first time around, just for what he did in the United States. I mean, goddamn, they gave Barack Obama a Nobel Peace Prize for just becoming president of the United States. No other president got that, but he got because he's black, half black, whatever. But this is great. Ending wars all over the world. Ending this in Ukraine is going to be top, but Rwanda and Congo stopped. Pakistan and India. This is Taiwan and Cambodia, I think it was. But the monks now are nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's listen to this shit. 70,000. Little joke, yeah. Steve Miller's bald, and they choose to be bald. That's their culture, but that's awesome. 70. I doubt. that they all broke their vow of silence, but um, that is great. Whole bunch of 70,000 monks. Yeah, they can't be wrong. They meditate all day long to channel, to find inner peace, to unlock humans, to help humans unlock their full potential. We I won't ever see it probably in my lifetime that we achieve our how do I want to say this? Kind of an unlocking of the brain, the enlightenment. Uh, we only operate at a small fraction of our full potential. Uh, in a lot of it, it's just been suppressed information for thousands and thousands of years, and that's one of the reasons why I don't care for organized religion is because they have used religion as control. I mean, you definitely could see the control when it comes to Islam, especially with the way they treat their women. But uh, Jesus' teaching teaches that women are equals. We are symbionts of nature. You can't have one without the other. We complete each other. I mean, face it, we're not asexual, and we're not going to be unless you drink a shit ton of that uh, atrazine. So, but I thought that was great. Monks. Yeah, the comments give me, but monks are wanting Trump to win the prize. Like I said, this guy should have won the prize a long time ago. He's brokered peace deals before. And now we do it again. I mean, how long the war was going on with Congo and Rwanda, but like 20, 30 years? Got him to stop? What kind of person? That's how can you be pissed off at this guy for anything? It just shows you if these lefties have no fucking humanity in them. They have no humility. They want to see people die for some goddamn fucking reason. That's why they want abortion so bad. They want to murder. They want to have that opportunity to kill. They're pushing for the euthanasia. Canada. Shit, I'm 19 years old. I don't feel like living anymore. Okay, we can get you right in. Sign these papers. Okay, here's an injection. Night. Bye. No, no. Again, I'm pissed off at doctors for doctors aren't fucking doctors. They're prescription writers. They work. They don't work for you. They're not concerned about your fucking health. They're concerned about fucking giving you more prescription medications to fill their fucking pockets. They're just as sick and twisted and evil as the fucking lefties, and a lot of the doctors are lefties. If they're fucking Republican at all or fucking right-leaning conservative, some of them have actually spoken out. Obviously, the White House had a shit ton of people fucking censored. And even coming out of his White House, they were censoring people on Facebook and at Twitter at the time. It's misinformation. Well, there is no such thing as misinformation. The biggest thing that I hate the most, you want to criticize doctors for speaking out against a not vaccine shot. You know, you silence them, but it, you silence them and you keep continuing on and kill the people. It's I don't know where I was going with that. I did know where I was going with that, but my fucking brain likes to get ahead of itself sometimes, and I get rambling on like a just talk, 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 talk. Oh, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. Uh, but yeah, that's great. Um, what else did I want to get into? To do. Oh yeah, speaking of illegals in Florida, here's one from the great state of Iowa. This guy's been charged, Loiza County Sheriff's Department, Columbus Junction, Iowa. This guy's been charged with murder, and then he hooked the body up to the back of his truck and drug it down a gravel road. Um, okay, this is. I don't know. Maybe both of these guys. I think by the name here, that's the victim. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that shit. There ain't no fucking way I can pronounce that. Tajir, yep. So I'm gonna try. Anyway, that's the victim. I'm gonna say that he probably was illegal too. Uh, guy's got AKA Salvador. The driver, the guy that's being charged is this guy here, AKA Salvador. So is this guy? Are these guys from El Salvador? Or what? But this is. Yeah, he is on hold for ICE. So both of them illegal, and one just got rid of another one. But um, yeah, I think we could send him down to El Salvador to Ucali, and he could spend some time in CCOT. I think that would do him good. I really do. I don't know what else I was going to do on this one. Um, a big win for Trump. They the appeals court ruled 5-0 to reverse this fucking fraud case, and Trump can get back his money that he put up for that. Uh, and they got rid of it with prejudice, more or less. They said that this was politically motivated. They saw through it, and this is in New York City. This appeals court, the appellate court. I think it was 5 black women on top of it, and they saw through the bullshit. But this dumb cunt's still going out there saying that, you know, his company, his 2 children are liable for fraud. Nobody got fucking frauded. This case should have been dismissed when Goldman Sachs? No, Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank comes in and says, yeah, you're right. He did inflate his price. Not as much as you say it is, but he did inflate his what he thought it was worth. Everybody does. Everybody thinks their property is worth more than what it actually is worth. Everybody. That's how you sell things. That's how you make money. It is ultimately up to the bank. He said, we'll say this property was worth $500 million. He goes and says worth $750 million. Now the bank's going to go in. They're going to invest. This is a lot of money to lend out. Even getting interest back and everything, you're talking, at that price, you're talking about $1 billion by the time you're all said and done. But they do their investigation. They looked at it, said, okay, no, you think it's worth 750. We're coming up with about 550, so we're a little off. We'll lend you the 550. Okay. So Trump takes it. Trump then repays back the loan with the interest. And then he does another bank deal with the bank because it's a good bank for them. But the bank said he didn't fraud us. He paid back the loan with interest before it was even due. Who got frauded? That's where the whole thing lies in this whole case was who was the victim? You can't have victimless crimes. Even fraud, you have to have somebody has to be a victim. And we got no victims. Zero, nada, zilch. So who the fuck's getting the money then? By the time this is all said and done, it was up to $515 million plus $500 million. Who the fuck was getting this money? Where was this money going to go? Because rightfully, most of it should go to the victim. Well, there's no fucking victim here. So the state was planning on the city, I should say, not so much the state, the city, well, the state, yeah, the state was going to keep this money. The state wanted this money. The funny part about this whole deal is you got $515 million with all the stuff. So he's paid this. Now he wins this appeals. Dumb bitch is going to go try to appeal this again, which is not going to go anywhere because I think she's out of, I mean, she might be able to appeal it to a different type of court. But you're pushing, getting to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court probably will not hear this case and say that it's done. But the funny part about this is because they wanted their money so fucking bad, so bad. Usually the monetary doesn't get paid out till it's gone. You've gone through and used up all of your appeals. That you can't appeal it anymore, then you end up paying. Because if you do it beforehand, especially when you're paying it to a state or any way you look at it, it gets overturned. You have to return that money plus interest. So this is going to end up costing New York a lot of money. Because can you imagine what the interest payments are on $500 million? What, 25, 30, 40,000, 100,000 a day? Or a month or whatever? Could be a day. Not quite sure. I'm not for sure what the rate is, but they do have to pay interest back. That's going to be hilarious. Somebody asked me, well, do they pay interest? Funny story I have. So one year I filed in my taxes and I just got lazy as hell. I didn't have anything to really, I knew I wasn't going to get much back if I was going to have to pay in or anything like that. Anyway, I got my federal done, and then our state is towards the end of April, and I got it done. I put it off, got it turned in. I sent the e-file on it, and at like 11:30. 11:59 was the cutoff. Anyway, I got it in. I was supposed to get back like $100 from the state. Whoop-de-doo-dee-da. One of the few times I got money back from the state. But that's the end of April. We get into September, and I get a phone call from the state. They're talking about my taxes that I didn't file in time. I said, well, I was going to get a return back, and I haven't gotten it. Well, you didn't file in time. There's actually a penalty. I said, no, wait. No, I didn't. And she looked at it. She got, oh, you got it in about 25, 30 minutes before the deadline. Yes, everything is good. We do owe you a refund. And since this was supposed to go out months ago, we owe you interest. And it was like 2.5% interest on the $100. I ended up getting like $120, $125 by the time it was said and done. But I made interest. I did everything right. But that's just it. When the state's going to owe you money back, or a victim's going to owe you money back due to an appeal, yeah, they have to pay interest. This has kind of cost New York a lot of money, and but it just keeps getting better because they've got cases against Letitia James and her fraud, and she's going to end up probably going to jail too. They actually have something on her, unlike what they had on this made up bullshit of frauding nobody. So, um, yeah. This picture kind of got me. I don't get this at all. You've got. You think our founding fathers. You think for one fucking second our founding fathers thinks Newsom. They will stand behind Newsom? Are you fucking kidding me? There's about, I'm going to say, easily 200 million Americans that won't stand behind him. In actuality, speaking of our founding fathers wouldn't stand behind any governor, any senator, any representative. Few presidents. That was a little bit more argumentative. But what Congress and our judges have done to the American people, our monetary system with the Federal Reserve, no. These fuckers are turning over in their grave how bad as shit's gotten in this. We have lost so much freedom from the time that they wrote the Constitution to now. Shit, we've lost more freedoms since the great Ronald Reagan left office on January 20th, 1989. We've lost the fucking goddamn Patriot Act. Took away a shit ton of our freedoms. We allow the government to violate our Fourth Amendment rights. No illegal search and seizures. No. We voted for that. So now, everything you do is recorded. Don't think it ain't. But I thought this is just bullshit. This is just, that irks me. There's no way Washington and Jefferson are going to be standing behind this guy. No way Reagan would. No way fucking Abe would. Ain't no way. No. He would have been tarred and feathered. If he acted the way he does with his pushing of different things that he's doing to California, literally would have been tarred and feathered if not hung by now. Citizens just would have went out and hung his ass. Sorry. Not sorry. Because, again, this is it's a way I feel as though they're trying to rewrite history. That, these Republicans and Whigs and stuff would stand behind a tyrannical, almost murderous fool. So, anyway, oh yeah, we keep pushing forward. We'll see what goes on. End with something fucking. I always thought of this movie, this thing. Oh, what are those goddamn flying carp, Asian carp, invasive species, and they're hitting our waterways up here in Iowa. They're in the Mississippi. They're going to be making their ways up the other rivers that feed into the Mississippi. Oh, Thank God I don't own a boat. All of my fishing I do is from docks and shores. I haven't fished out of a boat in years. Years. I was a little guy last time. I kind of had a bad experience fishing out of a boat because it started sleeting and I had to sit in the back where there was no damn windshield and we're doing like 30 down the freaking Mississippi and I'm getting pelted in the face by sleet. It sucked. Um, Other than that, and ice fishing. I don't do ice fishing. I don't like to freeze my ass off. Just me. But it's just hilarious. It's just these. What the fuck? The dude left him bleeding. Anyway, guys, I'll let you guys know on X if I decide to do anything more. I might do some. I don't know. We'll see. Might do some bullshit, and we might uh, fire up the old Minecraft. I'm playing Feed the Beast guys too. I was about halfway through this mod pack, and something happened. I lost all my files on it. Well, it wouldn't. Yeah, it kept crashing, and I just don't deal with that. So we restarted, and we're back to the beginning, and we love Minecraft. Minecraft's fun. It's just a way to relax and watch fish hit people in the face. He's bleeding. He's bleeding. That is freaking awesome. Anyway, guys, thank you, and we will chat with you later. But if anything, definitely 6:45 on Tuesdays. We'll do Tuesdays and Thursdays Central Standard Time here in the great state of Iowa. See ya.